Hi everyone, my name is Tia Chia. I am the APARC coordinator. This year we're celebrating Lunar New Year with our student organization, the Chinese Studies Society, and this is the year of the ox. So we're going to be passing the ox to different countries. We're going to be sharing how different countries are celebrating Lunar New Year differently with their traditions and cultures. So first up, we have Korea. Harrison will be starting off with Korea.
Okay, hi everybody. So my name is Harrison again, and I am going to talk about how Korea, or South Korea to be specific, celebrates Lunar New Year. So just a little bit of context. I've been living here in the States for about 17 years, and when I lived in South Korea until I was 11 years old, my family didn't really like celebrate extensively. And while living here, I kind of forgot about like everything that like what little traditions we like kept up in Korea. So this was a very fun and interesting learning experience for me, researching this topic for today's event. So in Korea, Lunar New Year is called Seollal, and usually it's a gathering of the family to kind of pray and offer gifts to their ancestors. And again, it kind of falls under the same date as Lunar New Year that is celebrated in other Asian cultures. So on Seollal, Koreans wear hanbok, which you can see in this picture to the right. That's the traditional Korean clothing. It's very baggy. Like I want to say, like I feel like compared to most other cultural traditional clothing, what I noticed was like hanbok tends to be a little baggier rather than form-fitting, which I think is very interesting. It's very colorful. From what I remember, it's very itchy. Like I don't know if that was just like my family just cheaped out on the clothes that we bought, but I remember it being just very itchy. But so that's what we wear. And another thing we do is play folk games. So there are many different games that they play. Koreans play for Lunar New Year, but this one is called Yunori, and it's the most popular one. So it's basically kind of like in a way Monopoly. It's like a dice game, and then you just move your pieces around the board. And instead of using dice, if you can see the sticks there, they kind of work as dice. So you throw those sticks, and depending on the combination of like whether it's facing up or down, it tells you to how many spaces you're allowed to move. I really don't remember how to play it, but it is one of the most popular games that they play in Korea. And if we can go to the next slide. So let me tell you a little bit about deokguk, which is literally means rice cake soup. It is the most popular dish that is eaten on Lunar New Year. And this is like the one thing that my family still keep up to this day because it's not too hard to make. So basically this is eaten on Lunar New Year, and it's supposed to symbolize by consuming this dish, you're gaining 1 year. You're like adding 1 year to your life. So this is like kind of to symbolize like that you're getting older. And it's just made with beef broth and rice cake, sometimes eggs, seaweed, green onions, and yeah. What's interesting is that in the last couple decades, it's become a tradition to also have this dish on January 1st, the Western New Year as well. And then next is another huge part about Seollal is sebae, which is the act of bowing to your elders, which is usually like children to their grandparents to wish them a happy new year. And the elders will reward the children with words of wisdom, just something very short, about how they should live their lives for the next year. And they will also gift them with money. In my experience, the money usually never makes it home with you. By the time you leave there, your parents will hold on to it for you. And yeah, so basically you can say goodbye to the money. And that's basically the biggest ways that South Korea celebrates Lunar New Year. Okay. And I will also be presenting the slides for Vietnam. and how the Vietnamese culture celebrates Lunar New Year. I am not Vietnamese, and I don't speak Vietnamese much, so forgive me for butchering some of the words, but in Vietnam it's called Det, and it's translated into morning of the first day. And Vietnamese wear their traditional clothing is called Ao Dai. Pretty sure that's how. I'm pretty sure I butchered that too, even though I've practiced it a billion times. So that's the traditional clothing they wear in the picture. Like I said, in comparison to the Korean hanbok, it's like a little more form-fitting. And so there's a top picture and the bottom picture. The bottom picture, that's actually me and my partner last year, pre-pandemic lockdown at the South Coast, the Costa Mesa Det Festival at the fairgrounds. So yeah, like my partner's family had an extra pair that was just gathering dust in the closet, so I got to wear it. And yeah, so the festival was a lot of fun. And one interesting thing to note is that different regions of Vietnam celebrate that very differently. So what I'm going to be talking about is mostly southern region. So next slide. So on the top left here, this is a very popular game that is played on Det. The name is translated into gourd, crab, shrimp, fish. Basically, it's played with 3 dice, and you're just kind of betting money or whatever currency that you're using when you're playing into the different circles with different symbols on there, and you're just kind of betting which animal or the symbol that the dice will represent. And on the right here, this is one of the most popular dishes. It's braised pork with eggs. I actually got to try this last year, and it was very delicious. The bottom one here, I have not tried it, but it's supposed to be a sticky rice cake. But I also hear that is also a very popular food as well. And so one thing that the Vietnamese culture does on Lunar New Year is also making offerings to the elders and ancestors, and they also practice the I'm not sure what this is called, but giving out money to children in red envelopes. So they also do that in Vietnam as well. And I think that's all I have for Korea and Vietnam. Yeah.
So Titus and Laura will be introducing China.
So hi everybody. So in Chinese, New Year is known as 春节. So there's a history of 4,000 years, and it's the most important festival in Chinese traditions. So it is a day when all the Chinese people around the world will go back to their hometown to reunite with their family and celebrate the New Year together. So it lasts for about 15 to 16 days, with each day having a different meanings and a custom to follow. Next slide, please. So as you can tell from the slide, so there are different days here, and so the one in red are the one that are more important, like on the day 1, which is the first day of Lunar New Year, and then the last day, which is the Lantern Festival, Yuan Xiao Jie. And also on the 9th day is important too, but it's more towards a religious side. So it is the birthday of the Jade Emperor, which is the King of Heaven, which the Chinese people believe in. So, however, as you know, young people are getting very secular nowadays, so we don't really do the worship anymore. Next slide.
Okay, so regarding the traditions surrounding New Year's Eve, it's very common to have a reunion dinner. So this is like one of the most highly traveled holidays, or if not the most highly traveled holiday in China, because everybody needs to reunite with their family. And so you'll have a reunion dinner, 团圆饭, and then it's also a tradition to stay up on New Year's Eve, of course, and kind of special about the tradition for Lunar New Year's Eve in China is that as a kid, when you stay up past 12 midnight, it's supposed to extend your parents' age. And the longer you stay awake, the longer your parents will stay alive. So this is also likely the only day when your Asian tiger parents will allow you to stay up late at night. And then we also have lighting incense, and there's sometimes a fight to light or to be the first person to light the stick of incense. So that's 墙头香, and it's sad if you managed to be the first one to stick the incense into the incense holder. You'll be the one to receive the most blessings. Okay, next slide, please. So after we stay up all night for New Year's Eve, we have New Year's Day, of course, and two traditions surrounding New Year's Day, or 大年初一, is visiting relatives, of course. So this is the day where you will receive all of your 红包, right? Your red envelopes, which usually have money in them, money in even numbers. And so like 8 is an even number, or 80 or 800 or 888. But never 4, because 4 sounds like the same word, which means death. So it's really important how much money goes into the red envelope, and also who gives the red envelopes. So everybody will reach a point in their life where they aren't receiving as many red envelopes as they have to give out. So that's adulthood. Yeah, 8,888. Yeah, me too. Okay, and then we also have firecrackers. So 年, which means year in Chinese, is also the name of a monster in Chinese mythology. And this monster, is really devastating to the towns and villages, but it hates the color red and it hates loud noises. So that's why on the New Year, we set up a lot of firecrackers and we wear bright red to scare away the monster and have a prosperous New Year. Okay, next slide, please. So New Year's is not just New Year's Eve and New Year's Day in China, it's the whole Spring Festival. So on day 2, there are also some more traditions. For example, married daughters return to their home with their husbands. So kind of a tradition in Chinese culture. You don't have to choose if you're gonna go to, like, if you're married, are you gonna go to your husband's family or are you gonna go to the wife's family for New Year's? Like, so instead, everybody will go to, so the married daughters go back to visit their parents on the second day of the New Year, because they typically will live closer to the husband's parents. And then this is also special because in ancient China, married daughters didn't have a chance to see their families very often. So this is like a special reunion day each year. The other more fun tradition for the second day of the New Year is eating wontons. So it's a tradition to eat wontons on the second day of the New Year. It's like a meat-filled dumpling because it's shaped like a golden teal, which is an ancient Chinese currency. So eating wontons is like eating gold, and that's supposed to bring in good luck for the new year. Next slide. So lastly, if you guys want to learn some Chinese with us, we can learn a few New Year's greetings. So this time of year, we say Happy New Year, which is 新年快乐. So if you want to, you can say it with me. Ready? 新年快乐.
新年快乐.
Yeah, we're all going to learn a little bit of Chinese today. Another popular one is 恭喜发财, And that means, yeah, you can say it with your mic muted if you want. It's just to say it to yourself, and that's good too. Good. So let's say 恭喜发财. Ready? 恭喜发财. Good. Okay. This number 3 should be a little easier, I think. It's going to be 大吉大利. Okay. Ready? 大吉大利. Good. Okay, last one. This is going to be 年年有余. Ready? 年年有余. And this word 余, it means like good fortune and prosperity, growth, but it also sounds like the word for fish, which is also 鱼. So you should eat a fish on New Year's so that you can have fish or prosperity every year. 年年有余. Okay, that's it for me here.
Thank you, Laura. So here are some superstitious or taboo during New Year's which you shouldn't do. So it is said that if you do them, it's going to bring you bad luck. And if I do them at home, my grandmother will get angry at me. So they say if you fight at home or you scold your children at home, the fortune god will frown and skip by your home. So they won't bring you won't have a good luck. So if you cut your hair, all your good luck will be gone. And also if you shatter your utensils at home, you're going to have bad luck too. Then the last thing is if you wear dark clothes, right? Your grandparents will be very mad. They'll say you should only wear red because that will attract bad things. That's all. And next slide, please. And the last thing is we are going to learn how to sing the easiest New Year song together. Okay. So let's try it together. Is it possible to go back and back because there's a Han playing there? Yeah. So let's try together for the first. It's just 3 words. 恭喜恭喜恭喜你. That's right. Yeah. So let's try the first 2 words. 恭喜. Then 恭喜 again and 恭喜 again. And then the last 2 words is 你呀. So 恭喜恭喜恭喜你呀.
恭喜恭喜恭喜你呀.
Now let's sing it together. 恭喜恭喜恭喜你呀. 恭喜恭喜恭喜你. Gonna play the music one time and we all sing together. So yeah, that's all for the presentation for China. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Laura and Titus. That was so much fun learning all these words. Okay, so next we have Danielle and then Janelle that they're going to be presenting on Singapore.
Hi folks, so again my name is Danielle. I'll be doing the first slide for Singapore. For Singapore, so there's a few things that they do for Lunar New Year. First one being that they like to do some household cleaning and decorations. Especially they love to sweep the floor to drive out the evil spirits in the house. In terms of food, I think like China, they like to do a reunion dinner, which is family feast to affirm their love for one another. So as you can see on the left, there's some dishes that they make. One of them, which I will talk about today, is the prosperity toss, which is called Yu Sheng. So basically the prosperity toss is basically an activity that you do where you put a bunch of ingredients together and each ingredient has like a meaning to it. So for example, carrots are like added to indicate blessings of good luck. And then there's shredded green radish with symbolizes eternal youth. And then the noodles are supposed to symbolize a long life. And so once they throw that together, along with the raw fish and other shredded vegetables, they like to throw it up in the air while saying kind of a bunch of auspicious wishes, or simply lohai lohai, which means to just kind of scoop it up. But when you scoop it up, that kind of represents like the height of growth and fortunes, which is why you toss the noodles enthusiastically. And on the seventh day, represents the birthday of man. So there's traditional dish, and then the yusheng, and then so on and so forth. And then I'll toss it over to Janelle.
Hi, I'm Janelle, and so on the 15th day, it is the first night of the full moon where the Lantern Festival takes place. So this is where they light lanterns, and also single women who are hoping to find husbands within the new year toss oranges or red dates in the Singapore River, and I think it's really cute. The top photo depicts single men who are trying to fish the things that these single women throw into the river out. Another thing that Singapore does is they hold a festival called River Hongbao, and it's a Chinese cultural festival to share Chinese traditions at Singapore River, and it's open to natives who live there and also to a lot of tourists.
So we're going to show a video from a Netflix TV show called The Singapore Social, where they're going to show the tossing of the salad.
You can't leave a single strand, so that's probably why you throw it everywhere, because if it's on the floor, then you can just sweep it away.
Hi! Happy New Year! Happy New Year, everybody!
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nara. Oh yeah, everybody take a chopstick.
Okay, let's start.
年年有余，
年年有余，
大吉大利。
大吉大利。What's that?
Peanuts and sesame seed，甜甜蜜蜜。
甜甜蜜蜜。
And then 招财进宝。
招财进宝。
进宝。招财。
Qingzhao is a beer in Taiwan, right? Qingzhao.
Okay, let's go.
1, 2, 3. Traditionally, tossing the salad was supposed to give you prosperity. So with every line of ingredient comes a well wish. And upon throwing it in and mixing it all up, you're supposed to say that you've received the blessing and do it every Chinese New Year.
You eat fresh.
Well, thank you. I feel
That's
better.
it. Thank you. Thank you, Danielle and Janelle, for sharing about Singapore. So next, I'm going to be sharing about Cambodia. Okay, so Lunar New Year is not one of the official holiday in Cambodia, but it's still one of the most celebrated festivals during the year because mostly they're celebrated by Cambodians with Chinese descent. So my family we're like 5th or 6th generation Cambodians, but our ancestors way down the line were Chinese immigrants, and so we still have our traditions that was passed down from our ancestors, and so these are some of the things that we do celebrate. And so the day before the new year, people are busy with cleaning and decorating their houses with good wish banners in red, and similar to these lanterns here. And on the night of the New Year's Eve, people gather at the pagodas to make offerings. So Wat is a temple, and Phnom is mountain. So Wat Phnom means the temple mountain, or the mountain of temples, is one of the busiest and most popular pagoda in Phnom Penh. And Phnom Penh is the city in Cambodia. It's the capital where I was born. Next, please. So some of the colors are really important. So I think Laura mentioned red is really important. For us, we have oranges and yellow flowers because yellow, and we have like yellow candles as well because they mean bringing good fortunes to the family. And red means lucky, so we wear red clothes and we get about red envelopes. So this morning we actually celebrate our Lunar New Year in the house. So the whole house smells like incense because we pray to our ancestors by burning incense and the yellow candles. And we also do food offerings. And my mom was just burning fake money earlier. So our house was the fire alarm went off intermittently because of all of the incense and candles and burning of the fake money. So in the next slide, we'll be showing my home video that I videotaped this morning. So I'll be narrating this. It's like a minute-long video. Okay, so first, we have, these are the fake monies that my mom was burning. It's to send the offerings to our ancestors, the fake money. And then we have like different fruits. So you saw the oranges, and these are shrimps. I think shrimp mean lucky as well. We got some chicken and different vegetables on the table. You got those noodles. Noodles mean long life, so it's very important to have a noodle dish on the table. And I think, and these yellow flowers is also really important. So we have it all decorated in the house. And this is our altar. So there's 3 tables of altar. One is for my grandmother, and then the other 2, this one is for the altars of gods. And then this table was for our ancestors. So we have 3 tables of food offerings filled with all types of Cambodian traditional dishes and fruits and vegetables. And you see this yellow candle, which we use to burn the incense to pray to the altars. So yeah, that's my home video. And that's pretty much it for Cambodia.